Guys, this is Jack with Snake River Fly. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to do a swing bug on a more traditional hook. It's going to be a pattern pretty heavily inspired by Bruce Cruck. He guides on the Upper Columbia in Canada, and he's got a BK stone that's kind of a pretty cool swing style stonefly nymph. So with spring weather coming up, we're going to type a handful of these to fish on places like the Henry's Fork, Salmon, South Fork, and anywhere that's got a bunch of stoneflies that like crawling in spring. I'm going to start out with some orange thread. I like orange because the adults oftentimes have a lot of orange and it's got a cool little hot spot. So I'm going to start up at the front, work back to about point, and cut my tag off. And I have just one laser leg in the everything color. I'm just going to fold it over the thread here, set that on top, and bind it down. That should kind of splay out a little bit. I'll work it. That'll splay out, one on either side. I'm going to trim it. I'll probably end up cutting it again once I get the full bug done, but that's just going to make things a little bit more manageable. Next thing I'm going to come up with is burnt toast leech lace for kind of the body, to help keep this a little bit more even. We're gonna wrap it from the front, tie that in, work it down and back, and just wrap it. Okay, then we're gonna do kind of a emerging thorax sort of situation with some barbed elasticore in brown. Tie that in first because it's going to wrap second. So similar to the Gunion stone body a little bit, we're going to wrap some water wick first and some barbed elasticore through it. Just kind of prepping this water wick first. Tie that in. And kind of wrap down this extra here so we have a smooth surface. Wrap this first. A decent thorax built, probably about a 1/4 inch long. Tie that off. I'm going to come back through with barbed elasticore. Kind of like to stretch it so that it ends up getting in between the water wick fibers pretty good. And then I'm just going to finish on the bare shank here. It's a little bit easier to tie off. Cut that out. Alright, it's looking pretty good so far. Last thing I'm going to do here is just tie in the feather off of the back of a pheasant. I usually end up going a little bit heavy if I do the whole feather, so I'm just going to trim off or peel off the one side here. Tie this in by the tip. Trim that out. We're just going to wrap that. Everything looks all right. I'm going to hold things back. Just try to build up a little bit of a clean head for it. Whip finish. And then the legs are pretty good, so I'm just going to trim them back a little bit. I like them a little bit longer. They kick pretty good. But that is Swingin stone. Great spring bug.